Hey, people. Wednesday, one of those spots where, yeah, it's like not much going on, not necessarily feeling like getting on here. 26th of October. Like I say, I really like to flow with this real natural. Um, I don't feel obligated to do this every day. I do it every day when I want to. So, coming on today because I noticed on my last video, my other sister, Adrian Matuko, watched, and that's rare. And so that was just cool that to have her leave a comment. So hello family. Let me do it like that. How nice. And then nice to see some other folks who haven't been by in a while, like Brett Helm. I spoke about his band Audra, and then what's New Wave Girl. So nice to see a comment from you. Long time. And then this person, I probably know who they are, but I can't recall. Yeah. So, just hello. Don't have much new really to share. I think my focus since the weekend has been on just elevating the energy in my home and in myself. My visits recently, the Zoom with my family. I tend to think about these things a lot, process them. My visit on Sunday with Liz. Then I had a really good visit yesterday with Blake, who is one of my homes, one of the people here in town who will come and sit with me and visit, who I really appreciate. He just turned 29, very good musician already, really trying to understand life better, and that just really vibrates with me. Excuse me. So we have some great conversations as well as we make music together. So, music-wise, honestly, what's been going on is that, and been watching a little bit of TV right now. Just watched the Jefferson Airplane documentary. I've been getting back, kind of returning to some Prince stuff that's online. I love Prince and his whole. I just feel I feel a kinship to Prince and what his Minneapolis experiences in the Midwest for blacks. I just feel a kinship. So that's what's been going on. And then the records that got played is this new Eno. I played this again, Forever and Nevermore. This is very, very good, and it's very it's subtly emotional. And I do notice some of the words coming through, and that's part of what's there. This is really good. This is wonderful. It evolves slowly, but the textures, the melody, just everything about this really is really, really good. Some of the finest Eno in a long time. Really like that. Last album I actually played was this Italian band, Rovescio Della Medaglia. I know what the translation is, but it doesn't come to mind. Io como io. Their album after this, Contamination, is the one that is they're best known for. I do have a reissue of that. But this has its merits. This is more hard rock, but also has those progressive moves where the arrangements change a lot. The vocals is one thing that I wonder about. There's these cultural and social things about times when things are popular and we do certain things and then we stop. But the overwrought, almost operatic vocals on some of the Italian progressive records, I don't get it. I don't even get why somebody thought it ever sounded good. But that's just to my ears. The really exaggerated vibratos that almost sound comical to me that you hear on this album. But the music is good. Like I said, music is good. Now, I've had an earworm happen in the last couple of days. I love when this happens. I was in the U section where I pulled the Uriah Heep to show that, and while I was over there, I hadn't played Underworld in a while, so I pulled this album, Barbara, We Face a Shining Future, Underworld. Their first album, Dub No Bass Was My Headman, that's amazing. Still, to this day, I still have strong memories of when I first heard it. It really made a strong impression, and that has lasted. This has a couple tracks that I really like. Then it has other tracks where it's Underworld stretching their boundaries, Carl Hyde doing his thing, whatever it is. It kind of seems like it's kind of a Zen thing, you know. And some of what he gets into musically, it's like, I'm not really going here with you. It's when they do that they just do some of the coolest. Matt Custer asked me if I collect Detroit house techno. No, I don't. I don't particularly like house. Never really liked house too much, except to dance to. I like this electro, and my own personal bias is towards the way that what Kraftwerk did was augmented by what the Japanese did, in particular Hiromi Hosono. So that kind of techno is more interesting to me than like house, rave sort of techno. Now these guys are known for being kings of techno, of raves, kings of raves, and for good reason, because they've made some really amazing techno tracks. So it's when they do that on here, the things that are more beat oriented with the subtle, kind of like we're on some sort of mental plane where we're trying to move up mentally. That's what I really like. And there's two tracks on here that do that: Nylon Strung and Low Burn. Nylon Strung in particular has been an earworm. I've had to play that maybe 10 times in the last few days because it just sounds so good. And I've also noticed how I don't specifically directly take influence from anyone, but I noticed how some of this Underworld sounds a little bit like me. That was kind of cool to discover that, because like I say, I do not consciously try to sound like anyone. And so even when I listen to my own music, a lot of times I do not hear direct influences as I hear certain parts I don't, which is good, because that's not the idea. The idea is to be original. That's honestly what's sitting out here. Now I can do a pull. I don't know what would happen today. Shall I do a pull? Well, you can't answer. Some of you are probably saying, well, yeah, sure, do a pull. What, do a blind pull, and maybe do a pull where it's like, well, I want to show this. So let me look and see. Does something hit me like that? And it doesn't. So let's go back to a blind one. But we'll do it over here, since it's like, well, nothing looks like I want to talk about it. So just pull something. Why is it here? Well, it wasn't that long ago I was talking about Turning Jewels into Water, label mates of mine on FPE Records. This is a 12-inch single of theirs, which is really good. Which Way Is Home? It was this and Nicole Mitchell, their recordings on FPE, that made me think that perhaps I could fit on the label and they might be interested in me. I was right. Turning Jewels into Water, I highly recommend them. If you haven't taken the time to listen to them, I recommend them. And thank you folks, for everything when you recommend stuff to me. Again, most of the time I've heard of it. All Them Witches, I don't have their records, but yeah, All Them Witches is good. Someone mentioned some more Comida, I've heard that. I've heard that. I'll forget because I will literally listen like they would do as a job when you back in the day when people would have to choose stuff to go on the radio. You have to listen to everything. There are times when I'll just because I want to, will go through and listen to everything that's new listed, like on Brooklyn Vegan or Pitchfork, Revolver, NME, The Wire, other online music publications. I'll just check everything out. So with that in mind, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan at all, but I like what I've heard of her new album regarding the music arrangements. And I also see how she has self-mythologized herself to great success. So I guess I'm saying I can see somewhat of the mass appeal that she has and how she's done it. Props to her. Okay. Someone else that I don't have records, but they're in the music news. Little Simz, Simz. I like her. Okay, I'll do one more quick one over down here. Let's see what we get. Don Pullen, George Adams Quartet. Don Pullen, the pianist who was with Charles Mingus forever. George Adams, tenor saxophone, yeah. And of course Don Pullen, of course, has Danny Richmond on drums. They fit Charles Mingus so well. Danny Richmond was almost like the perfect drummer for Charles Mingus. I love his playing. Haven't played this in a while. I know that it's good, and I remember that this has some heat on it. It has some heat on it. So I'm going to set this down here and play this when I'm done. But there you go, Don Pullen. All right, people. Really not much to totally focus on this morning. As always, I want to encourage people to move it up rather than down. Take care.